afternoon, one and all present here. It's indeed a pleasure for me to be with you all. I thank the opportunity given by the Department of Special Education, Alagappa University, and Department of Psychology, American College, for this wonderful event and the initiative they have taken during this pandemic period. I sincerely appreciate them as well as thank them for this opportunity given. The first speaker has given a beautiful foundation for me to talk about this topic on mental health for children. I'm going to share my slides with you all, and can it be the host is disabled the participant screen sharing? Can you just
I will make you
allow me to do that? Yeah, allow me to do that.
Yes, now we can, ma'am. Now we can.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Are you able to see the screen? Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you. Okay. So this is going to be mental health for children, and the first speaker, has given a beautiful background for it, how it may affect the entire lifespan. And it is our duty and responsibility as mental health professionals to prepare our adults to take care of the children. And as a teacher, also a parent at home, it's our prime duty and responsibility to take care of our kids and children and even adolescents, sometimes even adults and elderly too. So in this notion, I would like to start the presentation. We all know that how seriously it is affecting all of us. We all are talking about the ill effects of pandemic and how it may impact us during this lockdown period. She was talking about Russia. In India, the lockdown period has been quite a long period for all of us. It is continuing for a quite long. It is an unusual situation for all of us. It is a very novel situation. So far, none of our known generation has experienced this. This is a greater challenge for all of us as a adult also. In that case, it is very, very difficult for all of us to be part of this itself and accept the fact that we have to live with this for a quite long time. When it comes to children, they're totally unaware of all this, and they are actually much innocent about all this, and they were playful. They really want to enjoy their life, and they are not matured enough to even face this. So it is very difficult, and it is our responsibility to make them understand how it is important for all of us to take care of oneself in during this pandemic period. So the children, I would like to take you like a positive approach, that is efficiency model, because she has given you an alarm warning signal for all of you that how difficult it is. People may get into learned helplessness trap, and it may actually reflect in their adulthood. She has given a very clear picture. Now it is all of us to take this as a challenge, and it is also a god given period for all of us to work very, very fruitfully and productively to repair and restructure and repolish our relationship at home. I think the re-establishment of a relationship could be possible if you really, really work for it. So in this notion, I would like to bring a lot of tips for you as a parent, as also a teacher, and as a adult in a larger sense. And as a child, we all know that as we all adult, we know that the child grows, and the importance of childhood in their adulthood. We all know that, and how important it is there in their personality development. As professional psychologists, we all know, and educationalists, we all know. So the grooming of early years, the child is actually very important for all of us. We need to really took we need to take care of how important steps we have to take while we are parenting them. So before going into the picture of that, I would like you to just look into the scenario. The WHO states that worldwide, why there is a requirement for child mental health. Earlier, there was not much talk about this. People were not not addressing about mental health for children, because it was so ignored. Especially I would say in India, it is part and parcel of their parents duty, and they will take care of the children. And mental health was not being addressed so deeply so far. And WHO states that more than 10 to 20% of the children and adolescents experience mental disorders, even health hazards. And some of them are affected because of the disturbances. May not be disorders or mild. And most of the serious disorders, the onset, we all know that it is mostly adolescent period. So we all have to be very, very careful, and we have to be really responsible to take care of them in the early years. So to throw light on, be aware of what kind of childhood disorders we are actually may have to address or take care. So if you look into the health perspective, or from the psychiatry ward or an clinical psychologist ward, you can see that a lot of entry on anxiety, depression, and also ODD and CD, and also ADHD. All these are very, very common. And very, very common is anxiety and depression. Now the anxiety and depression is so associated with this pandemic also. You all know that. And people who are already in OCD, it's very, very difficult situation for them, because dealing with their, already they are in the threat of being infected, and it is also going to throw a greater challenge for them. So being an responsible mental health professionals, we need to really look in this category also. So children who are going to lay foundation at early years, if you are being able to look at them and correct them and take care of them and support them, nurture them, it is not going to be a great challenge for all of us, because we all responsible for a kid. We really wanted a kid in life, we plan for it, and we give birth to them. So in that case, it's our responsibility, as well as the child's right also, to provide them a nourishing environment, a conducive environment, a fruitful growth. So in that case, we as an adult hold a major responsibility. I should say the second parents, like a teacher, you all hold even more a greater responsibility in that case. So I really wanted to make sure that that is possible, even though in this pandemic period, we can really work on that. That is my say. So we all know that child, know your child and adolescents, you all know that they are growing physically, cognitively, and also emotionally, socially, morally. You all would have gone through all the theoretical base for that. I'm not here to talk about the theory over here. The physiological changes and cognitive development by Piaget, emotional development and psychosocial by Erikson, and moral development, all this you are aware of. But knowing is not enough. Doing is very important. At this pandemic period, I really feel that it is very essential for all of us. God given period for you, a buffer period to recorrect your own style of parenting. So if there is a possibility for all of us to recheck which age is my child, which if my son is reaching adolescent age, is that what is that I know him? Is that his entire developmental process? I have been with him. Is there any lag? Is there any possibility to correct it? Is there any possibility to relook and revisit my decisions on parenting? That could be definitely done if you really have a mind for, have an heart also for it. So in that case, I would like to talk about the current scenario, which is actually throwing a challenge towards us, is a fear, anxiety, sadness, probably seeing other people, and people are getting very sad. People are dying because of that. We are sad. And also, you just think of the fear is common for everyone. It is not at you alone at home. It is a common fear for all of us. And anxiety, if you look into the anxiety, we don't know the uncertainty, how the schools are going to be, how the colleges are going to be. The children who are studying in the final year graduation, they are in the threat, how I'm going to choose my career? What would be my career option? How will I am going to settle in my life? And people who are already in job, are the adults are also getting into, already they have established their career, they are also in threat. And some of them are in the threat of maybe thrown out of the profession also, like a recession or economic cut down or a salary cut down. The anxiety is enormous. We know as an adult it is going to be prevalent, at least for 2 years. I think it will take time to settle down as a developing country, India. I also feel the anger because of the stress level is very high. People are seeing each other. They are not used to people around all the time at home. 24 bar 7 people are at home, and nobody is actually going out and seeing each other. And people are using others' resources, sharing much of resources, and there are a lot of things. And women at home are being burdened because of there are a lot of work at home, and they have been in the kitchen for 24 hours. There are a lot of you know people are also learning shared responsibility to the other side. But there are so many things are really creating in frustration, and because of this frustration people are throwing anger bus. And they don't know how to control their anger or constructively use it, because they have been bounce back. There is no outlet for them. They don't go out and share with their friends. They don't have an opportunity to go and meet their friends. They don't have an actually an connect as before. So the physical connect is very less. So because of this, people are finding it very difficult to manage with this anger. And procrastination, which is a very very easy thing to do, that is denying. As you well stated in the previous presentation, the speaker has told about learned helplessness. I cannot do, I'm not able to do this, I won't be able to do this, like that they think and procrastinate and avoid the current scenario to postpone which they have actually scheduled for. In that case, it is becoming going to be an even greater challenge, because they are going to pile up. They are not just piling up the duty, they are also piling up the emotions along with that. So we need to be very very careful on looking at these categories of our own self, how our personality is being actually reacting to all this situation. And people become rebellious, especially the adolescent. Already their characteristics are very rebellious, you all know that. And because of the hormonal changes, but they are seems to be very rebellious, because they are not in an usual situation. They are being thrown into a cage. The lion is actually really wanting to come out, but the lions are being kept in the cage and asked to roam inside around. So they are rebellious for everything. You give a food, they say that I don't like this. You give anything and they do temper tantrums like small kids. And there are other one important thing is lazy and boredness. If you ask anyone, I'm bored. Even people are saying attending so much of webinars are getting bored. So that is the scenario. Doing anything monotonously is really kills people. There is no variety if you have been being at home for a quite long time. All these as a result of stress which we are going through. The stress is personally what we are actually undergoing because of, maybe because of a professional or financial or personal or interpersonal at home. And more than that, it is also about the secondary symptoms, like we watch media and we get stressed also. So many people are dying, so many people are walking here and there, so many people are not being able to admit in the hospital. There are so many things we see because the news updates, and also the media updates. So this is a secondary stress also causing us. This is the current scenario. All of us are sailing in the same boat. It is not one who is actually thinking of this. All of us are in the same boat. But if what could be done as in simple adult technique, and as a psychologist, or even in very matured adult at home, how you can actually handle this scenario. So just think of that. No, they, when it comes to, because adult can actually settle down because the responsibility. But children are very very they are growing. They need to be really really give and take. Given care. So we need to really give them a space for that. So plan your day and also give personal spaces for each one. Even if they're a child, don't indulge in controlling them all the time. Do this, do that. Give them their own space. It's very important. And validate their emotions. That is the main reason people get agitated. If you don't get involved in this, you see, as soon as the child is rebelling, There is not, it is not his intention to dribble or fight against your thoughts or deeds. It is only that he is not able to manage himself. As she mentioned, learned helplessness. I'm not able to come out of this, I'm totally stressed, how can you actually help me, is the cry inside, but they are showing it outside differently. We need to validate the emotions, so we need to really ask them, do you feel angry, my dear? They will say, no, no, I'm not angry, I'm a little upset. They will say, they will come out of their own emotions, they will address to you, they will melt down, they will actually come into the terms if you validate their emotions. And also making them understand the stress and anxiety is very normal, everybody is going through. Unless you normalize that, it is going to be a greater challenge, because they will feel that I am only going through this kind of issue. When you normalize, they will feel that there are so many people with me, the conformity takes place, so there is a kind of support system is already been evolved in them. So it is very easy for all of us to take care of them, because everybody is going through. And when you are seeing the media also, make sure that the stress is not being loaded or information is not overloaded for them. We need to take care of that also. Accept and keep moving, it is the one of the very important thing we need to really tell them. See, anger is fine, and constructively communicating the anger you need to teach, because as an adult sometimes you throw words, you scold on them, you don't actually respect their identity. There is something called an existential identity. We never even bother about the existence of the child, because they are taken granted. So that should not be there. Giving them in space and importance and respect is also very important. At this pandemic period, it is very much relevant, because you are actually getting a chance to groom them a better person. So accepting them as they are and keep moving on, accepting, making them to accept the other things also as they are. The stress is there, we need to overcome it, we have challenges, but it's fine. How we can overcome, we can discuss about that. That kind of compromise we need to bring into each other, and listen to them. That is the major important one. Most of the time while you are working all the time, and with parents, dual working parents, there is no time. You all always used to say and complain that I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time for my family, and I don't have personal time. Now all the time is with your family. Why don't you listen to them, talk to them, chat to them, understand their friends, understand their circle of friends, understand their interest. All that is a given, God given chance for all of us. I think it is possible for all of us to set a goal for each day, a positive goal for each day. I at my family play a game. It may be a different game. One day we played snake and ladder. Other day we played carom board. Other day we planned and I planned a game which is in gratitude giving. So kind of games you can plan, so that it will bring, and it is also teaching social skills for them. It is also teaching them how you can actually build a relationship, and you can also respect people. Like you can also actually be aware of your own self, and give time, and follow the follow it also. Most of the time what we do, we tell others, we don't actually follow time. We may be in a upside or an the tumbled time schedule, but we ask other people to follow the time. That is a very very essential thing. You know, time, give time and schedule, follow the schedule for yourself also. Make a note of it: personal time, professional time, family time, and also strictly follow that. Children will definitely have a sense of understanding. Okay, my parents are with me, it's a professional time for them, I should not disturb them. This is a personal time for them, I should not disturb. And they will also learn personal time is required for them, school timing, reading time, studying time is required for them, play and family time is required for them. We need to give them such a kind of role model there, and give quality time and care. And quality time mean to say that a lot of people giving time means it's not that you are sitting with a gadget, the child is playing with another game, and other person is sitting with a book. It is all about talking to each other, looking at each other face to face, and something change, something, an exchange of ideas and decisions could be made even for their better life tomorrow. and then help to release the stress by play. This I was addressing, how you can play and how you can actually enrich their habits, and how you can actually, children who don't wanted to read books, doesn't incline to read books, this is a chance for all of you. Give them small comics and small books and storytelling. You go along with them and you read for them, then slowly they get into the habit of joining with you for book reading also. I've seen a lot of parents who does storytelling, bedtime storytelling, but it doesn't mean that you should use it only bedtime. Sometimes in the you can plan that this is a story time for all of us, join together, so each one take, one day you read, the other day other person reads, so that it becomes an routine in the family. People are also, then after the story, analyzing the story and finding out what could be the character is the best, and who do you like, why do you like, how do you like, what made you to like that person. That kind of analysis is important. Even in movie watching, media literacy is very important. When you watch a movie, also discuss with that. I was watching a movie with my son, Kung Fu Panda. Then I was discussing about them, the entire characters. And I said that even the Kung Fu Panda has a problem of poor self image, but how it has come out of it. The secret ingredient is in you, that you have to believe that you have that. So that was the dialogue. We were been talking to each other whenever we are seeing the secret ingredient is within you. So that gives a kind of connect between both of you. While you're watching on TV also, you can actually make use of it very fruitfully. So watch such a kind of movie, that's very essential. So moving on to this, what is the structure? This, all these are based on an kind of a common topic, but how can I structurally work on it? So for that, I would like to introduce an positive parenting, which actually Dr. Suresh Kumar, one of the presentation he presented in the webinar series what we have been hosting for quite a long time. This positive parenting is a continual relationship of a parents and a child, or including caring, teaching, leading, communicating, and providing for the need of a child consistently and unconditionally. This two terms, consistently, unconditionally, is a very relative term. Consistently, actually, as an adult, we all go through a lot of stages of up and downs. We all know that it's practically, realistically, it is not possible every time to be like that. But there is relatively consistent we can actually formulate. That is possible for all of us. That is what the parenting style, you must be aware of yourself first. You should not, they say that the researchers have shown, the psychological research have shown that it is better to be even an authoritarian parent who's a very strict parent, but don't have an inconsistent parenting style. It really confuse them. So it is better to be even in dictatorship, but it is not actually an inconsistency is not welcomed much, because they get confused and it affects them personally over the period of time. You all know that how the personality development has been taken care in the childhood itself. That all the theories of what I said about psychosocial and other things, you all need to really look in that, in that aspect. So if you look into this positive parenting, there are areas which you need to really look into. Is number one is providing, nurturing, caring, teaching, unconditional love, learning, and communicating. So all these are components of positive parenting. A person who is actually providing and support at home will have always feel that I am having something enough to give, isn't it? That kind of feeling you should actually make them feel, and also believe, and also into and practice. That gives them a kind of an conducive atmosphere, secured and safe feeling. That is very essential. The child, most of the child required a safe place to live. So that safety and security has to be really assured to them at any cost. So I could see that a lot of cases now about the domestic violence and abuse, child abuse cases have been increasing. That is actually being portrayed in media. We don't know the actual score of it or actual statistics of it. But when there is two or three newses also, it's really disturbs us, isn't it? So we need to be, as an adult, we need to take care of the children's safety and security at home. Being in safe place, the home is a safe place. If that itself is threatening, It is a very great challenge for the child to live for their entire life. And then the nurturing is something, and it's not about nutrition, food for health alone. It is also for the mind, giving and good habits for them, physical fitness, and also about mental fitness, emotional regulation. And the parents are not having an unpredictable behavior, and giving them a very good support system, and also providing they will know that if I go and approach my mother, she will say like this. They must have a surety and reliability on you. That kind of nurturing has to be there. And caring is, it's an obvious thing for the parents to be caring and taking care. It's not based on their achievements, it's not based on what they are, it is whatever it may be, irrespective of their conditions. That is unconditional love. Irrespective of the conditions, you are loving them, you are caring them. Just because if they have done something wrong, you are not actually throwing them by words. So that is very, very essential. As parents, we need to really, so when we are doing that communication also, we should be very careful. I don't like you is a very bad communication. Rather, what you did is, what the behavior you did is not impressive. The behavior what you have really done is actually correct, no, has to be corrected. The behavior which you have done has really made me feel upset. That kind of communication need to be practiced by parents. And learning, and it is a very learning thing, ongoing learning, both of you. If you are a parent who is actually willing to learn, and also willing to appreciate things around, appreciate the uniqueness of others, the child will also be like that. So it is very essential as a parent, we need to look into an on a whole, that we are providing such a kind of learning atmosphere. Don't make the child what he should think. Rather, ask, let him think. Give them a space for thinking on his own, and kindle his creativity, curiosity. Answer, if you don't know, it is fine. It is, you can actually bounce back to someone experts, or even Google is there for you to help you at any cost. So you can actually be in touch with that also. And unconditional positive love, that is, I am adding unconditional positive love. It is very essential for all of us. Love itself is very positive, but one thing is, it should not be blind. You need to be firm, as well as you need to be, you know uh, uh, it's also a very important things. And warmth also. So show them in warmth, and never mislead them because of your love. And unconditional is not because of you don't actually have, parents doesn't have an expectation at all. You have a positive expectation about them, also communicate to them. So I am thinking of you like in big position. I want you to be an intelligent, smart boy or a girl. That could be okay. I wanted to see you as an IAS officer. I wanted to make you to CEO as a doctor. That is your dreams. So make sure that they are having an high aspiration for education, educating them, learning, and spirit of knowing so many things, and learning the skills also to equip that. Rather than making it is like a kind of, we say, don't give them fish, teach them fishing. So that's a kind of practice you as a parents have to do, really. So this is one of the very important thing I would like to make in uh, make in demonstration, that is positive presentation, I mean positive parenting. And which could be in two dimensions, could be an approach, and as well as addressing the challenges in. The first one is about the approach, that is sensitizing, role modeling, monitoring, and nurturing. So we have been talking about what is positive parenting, and how it is actually, what are the components involved in that. In the approach, it's sensitizing. The first one is the very important. As a parent, you need to sensitize them. Sensitizing means educating them, giving them a platform to understand the concept, giving them the knowledge, nuances. If it is about COVID, making them understand how COVID is actually spreading across. What is the responsibility of all of us to do when COVID is being spread across? As a citizen of India, what could we can do for it to prevent that? How we can actually safeguard ourselves, safeguard others, and safeguard actually our kith and kin and our society. Our entire street, what kind of measures they've taken, what is the neighbor is taking care. So all these are sensitizing them about the COVID. You can actually give them an idea of how to hand wash, and all that video you can show them and be with them, and also do a demonstration also. That is very, very essential. And also make them understand it is okay if you prevent, you can actually be very cool and stress free. It is only thing is you should maintain a social distance. You should wear a mask wherever you are going. Unnecessarily stepping out of the home is not required, and playing with the social distance even at your own apartment is essential. That kind of sensitizing is very essential for the kids. And kids are very, very innocent. They tend to go and approach people, hug people, touch others. So we need to sensitize them how important. And role modeling, this is a very essential part from parent side. And role modeling is something which we all actually practice at home. And if your child wants to be a very good great learner, a knowledgeable person, you read every time, you do a lot of work for your own knowledge upgradation in front of them. And also, like for this COVID thing, you don't go out every time for purchasing, and don't follow the rules and follow everything what the common says, then you expect. So basically it is what you practice, you are preaching to them. And they should see you, actually they will start believing what they see. So if they started seeing you that you are doing everything right, then you earn the right to preach someone. So that is the thing, you have to really earn the right for asking anything. So that I really feel one of the very important aspect of us. Don't get angry like that the parent will shout at the boy. That itself shows that you are getting angry with the boy. So you have to really be in a cool pace and understand and listen, try to listen, and then say that how anger creates trouble in you physiologically, psychologically. By that process you also cool down yourself. So this role modeling is very, very essential. All the time it is not possible, I agree with you. We cannot be like a saint, I know that. But it is possible if you are aware of this. God given time of lockdown is going to be a very essential period for all of us to re-establish our bond and also correct our parenting style. In that case, it is essential time for for all of us. So make use of it to whatever you have dreamt of so far, you have not done so far, you have not learned and course which you have been opting for, which is available in online. Learn in front of them. That becomes a role model for them. So that could be the one of the very essential part in that. And then the monitoring, so be aware of what they are doing. So even when they are at home, don't give them a separate places where they are not at all
Supa, ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, full screen they are asking, ma'am. Those are watching in YouTube, they would like to.
Yeah.
It's not visible. F5, ma'am. Click F. Yes.
Is it?
Yeah, clear.
Yes, it is.
Continue.
It is now.
Yes, clear, ma'am. You can continue.
Yeah. So monitoring is very, very essential because people are now using gadgets very much. I know the children are using a lot of apps and learning their exams and other things they are doing. Even schooling is through our mobile phone right now. But there are possibilities for all of them to get distraction also, getting into WhatsApp group or Instagram or whatever you call it, some TikTok or something really disturbing them. The games which the students are getting addicted now. I've seen in my college the first year students of UG, I mean the undergraduate students, they used to sit in the last row even during the seminars. Eh, they used to shout and shoot like that, right, left and all. I was wondering what is that they are doing. Once I saw that they all are playing PUBG game, that too in the college atmosphere, in a seminar situation. The last row they sit and do this game. And it is this because they are getting addicted to this game. They don't know how much screen hours they are going through. And this is a screen hours has to be monitored by parents. They have to really give them in this regulation every day, 1 hour or 2 hour. Or you can, because it is in pandemic period, most of the time they're at home, you give them 2 hours or 1.5 hours. You have to really strictly follow that. After that family time, you should be available for them to play or something or chat or do something along with them. Otherwise you cannot demand them. So monitoring is very essential. If the child or an adolescent is all the time getting inside the room and playing or doing something, you have to really check about that. It is not about not trusting your kid. It is all about that it's an age they may get distracted. So you have to be really careful. So Mr. Suresh has given an online safety measures also for children, which was actually an eye-opening session even for me. Even I don't know about those things. So in that case, and how a child will know about the security and other things? They may be casually sharing all the information. They may see one of the children have shared all the details of their parents, and they got into a trouble because of that. So we need to really monitor that. It's very essential. And nurturing, in the situation of nurturing, you all know that how you are giving a nourishment for the emotions and also for the brain. If it is something on a game or even a kind of a part of reading or sharing knowledge, that becomes a brain activity. But it is also kind of in moments, it is also kind of an no yesterday we had a laughter yoga session. That was fantastic family time, and having a laughter yoga. There are a lot of movements, a lot of exercise, and also releasing stress, and also a kind of relationship building that has so many structures in that. So I was really enjoying what a kind of exercise we all can practice. If you really throw inhibition, we can do that also. So the other one is about addressing challenges, and is about the behavior, emotions, and cognitions. So most of the children get in this during this pandemic period. We used to get a lot of call for counseling helpline in our college, Madras School of Social Work. They always get in kind of in thought that is I'm getting in thought that is disturbing me always. Ma'am, could you please help me? So I'm feeling that I'll get injured, and or I will get infected because of pandemic. I will die soon. If I come to know about somebody is dying somewhere in the news channel, I'm getting kind of an thought that I will also get into this kind of pandemic. And I don't know, I may get COVID or all this. They have been talking to me, and I could see that a lot of depression rates have been increasing. Initially there were a lot of anxiety cases reported, and now it has come down. So the people are getting accustomed to that or adjusting, and they're also able to find their own coping skills right now. And the behavioral actions, because of that, it is very new, and anxiety is more. The situation throws a lot of behavioral changes. They may be very erratic. They may not be consistent. They may not be kind of unpredictable behavior. All that may be there. And emotions like feeling how they are going through, they may not be with adolescents. I really have an adolescent boy at home. I couldn't even trace out what is his emotions, because he used to keep, I don't know, I'm thinking, I'm doing this. Kind of, he don't even share his feelings. Such a kind of mask they all have. So it is very difficult, that what the child is thinking, processing, and as well as feeling. We need to really look into that scenario. We as a parent, it is a very essential part, and as a parent, we need to really help them to overcome this scenario. And positive parenting has very important responsibilities, which can be in do's and don'ts. I can explain you. As a do's, we all know that respecting the child or an adolescent at home within 15 years or 14 years or even 3 years, the child as an individual, we need to really respect. Most of the time parents belittle them because their age is very less. Even at the age of 3, even at the age of 15, whatever the child knows, at your age of 15 you would have definitely would have not, because the kind of exposure they all go through now. So we need to really accept that and respect their views. It is very essential. Even they talk something dumb, don't discourage them. Don't be a very critical parent, and ask them to explain why they are saying so. What is that making them to feel so? All that is very essential to kindle their interest and curiosity to know further, rather than cutting, shutting their interest on knowing something new. So respecting each one is very essential. If you respect them, they will also respect, and respecting others at family. And you as a parent, and for especially within the outlook of Indian and Tamil Nadu, I could see that a lot of parent call their spouse very casually addressing them, not respecting them in front of the children. This may really create a kind of a bad, image. The gendering aspect, we actually bring this gender aspect right from the childhood. We need to really be very careful. When they are growing, it is not going to be like that. The situation is going to be an equal opportunity for both genders, and in that case, they need to be really groomed with such a kind of, outlook. So the respect for each gender at home and respecting the others, elders, it is very essential. So the same situation may come. There was one old movie of Sivaji Ganeshan, I don't remember the name of it, but he'd say that you may have to take care of this bowl because your children may give it to you when you grow old. That was a fantastic eye-opening movie, I should say that. Elderly people has to be taken care at home with the respect because they are watching you very closely. They will also follow the same footsteps of yours because you have been practicing them to be like this. So we have to be very careful in that aspect of, respecting each other at home, respecting the relationship, respecting even the servant at home. It is very essential because I'm using even because of the, the term. Not, I'm not degrading them. The very important thing is respect as a human being has to be nurtured in them, and then emphasize relationship. It is when it comes to material, how important is relationship. You need to really make them understand because at the cost of phone, they may not actually look into the person. So they, if you really wanted to go out with me or you wanted to play at home with phone, they will opt for phone and playing at home. Then don't give such a kind of options at all. The relationships are very very important, and building up the relationship, this is the, you know uh, really a great period for all of us. So this is a greater vacation, a long vacation with a lot of, chances to stay within home, and a lot of, possibilities for all of us to look in with so much of positivity because the entire the situation pandemic COVID-19 itself has given a lot of insights for all of us. Thinking enough, feeling enough, having enough, and also working on with what is the available resources, being very optimally connected to people with, whatever the chances we have, helping each other without any boundaries, and sharing money, sharing things, sharing, materials along with others. This COVID itself has given a lot of insights for all of us. This is a very essential period for all of us to make use of it, to make our other next generation to be very very fruitful and positive people around. And I think teaching communication skills, being an elderly, it's our it's our responsibility to communicate properly, be very very clear to them. And also it is, they also say that in, there is one of the video I was watching about this Ranganathan. He's a coach for I don't remember something on thoughts. It talks about how important in communication to prepare the person and then deliver it. So most of the communication, he says that you are preparing the soil, and then if you just throw the seed, it grows. You need not actually, uh, uh, plant it. Actually, you will need to just throw it. So preparing the person for listening itself is the art. That if you are able to do that, you are able to do the entire, communication fruitfully. So that kind of an practice, if you really inculcate with the children and adolescent, it is becoming a very very great, possibility for all of us to communicate what is required, what is necessary, being very sensible in communication, sensitive to others emotions. All these are very essential. And communication within clarity of what the receiver really want, from us, and what is that you need to really give them a message. When it comes to an COVID or a situation at home or a situation, there are a lot of misunderstanding takes place because there is no open communication. We take them granted. You, as if you don't know that I am your, husband for a quite long time, as if you don't know, they will ask, such a kind of questions are not necessary because it is very essential to be very open right now because all are preoccupied with their own stress. It is not that you alone because of you are a breadwinner. It is also about the spouse is going through. She is a person with a shared responsibility at home. She is also feeling the same. She is also going through the same kind of stress. So open communication is very essential for between spouse and as well as with the children. And certain things, if it is going to bother somebody, it is better to avoid right now, or talk it in the terms and very assertively expressing your own feelings, not hurting the other person. So that is very essential communication style you need to practice at home. And nurturing positive traits, which I feel that is a beautiful period for all of us, that to look into positivity all around. Looking at the sun, because vitamin D you are getting it. The person who said that I have been without paying, enjoying oxygen for a quite long years, 90 years. I am so far I have not paid for oxygen. Now this pandemic and COVID-19 has made me to pay for even oxygen. What an person! I am so I'm so grateful to God that I have been provided oxygen. So that is a kind of thinking about everything around. I'm having a shelter and I'm having a very secure feeling. I have a family along with me. I have a beautiful support system. I'm having a laptop and talking to you in front of you. That kind of positivity is very essential. Appreciating each other's trait every day. Pick up at least two or three as a parent, as an adult, even with your spouse or with the children, whatever they are doing, you are coping very well. You are doing very well in spite of the you are not attending in the classroom. You are able to finish your assignments even without anybody is monitoring. You seems to be very very neat in writing and doing your work. You are you are looking very cute with those sweet something which is very appropriate, not actually inflating their esteem, just being a very genuine friend. You can actually be with them. If you're able to be a friend with them, doing all this with respect to this period, definitely you can see a positive shift in their parent adolescent or parent child relationship. I can assure you as a psychologist. I can assure you as a parent also, because I am also in the trying period. And don'ts, what could be the don'ts? Don't punish them, verbally abuse them, control them. Usually you tell that. You tell all this as a psychologist. But sometimes you need to really be aware of this particular situation. You need to be the extra, punishing a person. Already he is under distress or some stressful situation is going in his mind. And on an on an above you are punishing them, creates a kind of negative vibration, which is not actually going to help them. And also verbal abuse, if they are very very confused, sometimes you are very positive, sometimes you seems to be verbally abusing them, which they couldn't take it, because they don't want it to be kind of sugar coated medicines. They really want to be very very clear. So open communication, even if you really want to scold someone, you are angry with them, you can openly say that I'm really angry because of your behavior, rather than scolding them with a stupid or idiot kind of words. So that is better to avoid such a kind of verbal abuses. And then control. So we always, most of the adults takes and kind of lead over other person. You say that because you are elderly, because you are a parent, you have all the right to ride on them. That is not so actually. You don't have any control over them. They are coming through you, I don't deny that, but you don't have a control over them. So that we need to really respect their space and really treat them as an individual. So this controlling gives them a kind of a pressure on them. They feel that if you don't sit like that, you don't do like that, don't talk like that, that really creates some and have a kind of, I don't feel free at my own home. That kind of an feel they all get it. If they get such a kind of feeling, it is really troubling them to be very open, to be very free with you. If you don't lay the platform to be a free person at home itself, how are they going to face the challenges outside at home? How they are going to be very open, how they are going to be very very friendly with the other person, where we are going to talk about personality development at their 40 years and 50 years, which is not going to be a very easy job for all of us as a professionals to train them, because they have been nurtured and they have been conditioned all their childhood like this. It's very 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 troublesome when you look into this category. So look into the holistic parenting, positive parenting dimension, safety, care, and intellectual stimulation, and the control, that is in feel of and monitoring. All should be equally taken care as a parent. That is very very essential for all of us. And it is not all about children alone, adolescents alone. Even youngsters, young adults have been even more disturbed a lot. They are in the dilemma because they are adults, but they have not fully taken up the role and responsibility of adults for the home, because they are finding it in kind of a cat on the wall situation. They're not financially actually independent and dependent on parents, and also they are not feeling the safe and security because they are not getting into the job right now. So even the youngsters are feeling the same kind of feeling. And adults are having even more threatful situation, because there are a lot of things they need to really answer: their responsibility for the home, family, their office, and also financial cushion for the future, for the children's growth, and education and higher education. All that is a big questions going on. And elderly, they feel they are burdened, and they feel they have been useless in this. They are feeling already helpless at home, and they're feeling because of this they actually spread a lot of negativity among others. So we need to be really taken care of all this as an active young adult, or even an adolescent, or even an adult. We need to really look into all the aspects, and all of them need to be nurtured and taken care. Everyone, if they talk about the right, there is another side of the coin. Responsibility is there. We need to really take care of the rights and responsibility of all of them as an adult at home. So finally, I would like to give you, there is no threat for all of us, because we have been in India. Most of the families are very much interested to be an really great parent. They all wanted to be told by others that parents are beautiful parents. They have grown up the children with a great responsibility. They are the role model. So they really work hard for that. They don't actually, being in collectivistic society, India really value the parenthood, and that is actually a boom for all of us. We really need to really look this pandemic period with a positive note. The positive parenting: explore your own style is very important, in parenting. What kind of parenting style? So this is a time for you. It's a period for you to explore your own self as a parent also. Check with your kids and validate their emotions, validate their behavior, proper behavior, positive behavior. That's very essential. And let your self-esteem be the role model for them, and it should not be imposed on them. You cannot actually increase like a volume button in their self. You need to really give them a time for processing and help them to grow as a person with a good self-esteem or a positive self-esteem. You be within self-esteem, high self-esteem, then it becomes an nurturing environment for them also to take forward. And talk less, listen much, and also discuss and decide like a team in the family. Don't just give instructions, also listen to them. What could be the better one? What kind of decision is going to be better for our family? How much we can actually look into. So you will never know that the children will give a best kind of perspectives when you are discussing with them. You never knew that what kind of taste they all have, because you are very limited with your knowledge. They know more than you, because they are always in Google. So you have to really trust them and give them some responsibility in that case. They come through you, not under your control. You are not the boss. I already told you that about. And accept the difference and appreciate their no appreciate whatever they are, whatever they are, irrespective. Don't compare the children at home that so the see, look at the big one, how he is responsible, how much he is achieving, how much marks he is gaining, how good he is behaving at home, and look at you, why are you doing so. This comparison really make them feel very appreciate the uniqueness of each kid at home. That is very essential. Even your spouse, the difference between you and your spouse is very essential. Actually speaking, psychologists say that you cannot tolerate yourself, it is better to tolerate others. So you cannot tolerate so many people like you. Can you can you live with all the 321 participants are like you? It is going to be the same. It will be boring actually. You won't actually have a uniqueness. So it is better to have an uniqueness and appreciate that uniqueness. You are a hero. So you are a hero unconsciously if you really do a fair parenting. That's very important. You need not tell them that I'm a hero. They will definitely take you as a role model. Health, regulation, and also moral, if you practice, they will also do that. So you take care of yourself, and they will you be your legacy. That is very, very sure. There are a lot of people who have said that because of my parent I am like this, because of my parent I'm standing in front of you, because they have lived their life with the kind of regulation in their life. Don't expect beyond their age. I've seen that a lot of parents are impatient. They want the children to be highly mature. I don't know. They have not laid down the platform or in foundation for the kids, but they want them to be matured. Because of this, no, the prematured adults never feel happy for themselves because they don't actually mingle well with their peer groups. They feel they're lacking that relationship. It really hits them very badly. So we need to really allow them to live their life age appropriately. Don't feed too much. Over information is overloaded. Information is actually not at all good for them. And listen, verify, monitor, but set boundaries. Very essential. Time limit, or monitoring them, and also giving them a space which they can actually enter. This is not your time. This is my bedtime. This is my personal time. This is my professional time. This is our family time. You are supposed to come. So this kind of boundaries need to be set for adolescents or even for children, because they should not get confused when my mama will do like this, when my father will react like this. There should be always a response from your side, not a reaction. So that is very, very essential as a parent, I feel. And the common shared interest, play with them, chat with them. Some common interest you all can pick it up. So even an andakshri at home really brings kind of an cohesion at home. So find a what play is really interesting for all of us. Play that, invent, and it could be possible time for all of us to create a great atmosphere, a conducive learning atmosphere to help each other in the family. And I'm in the, I've done with my presentation. Is there any questions or anything? I'm ready to answer. Thank you so much for the opportunity given
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am, for the
by
amazing
Indian as well as
presentation.
American College.
Amazing presentation.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation, ma'am. I think this is going to be the parents' handbook or something for handling the children. You have done justice to the topic,
Thank
mental
you so
health of children. It's really a wonderful presentation. I'm going to save this presentation for my future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So participants, please click the raise hand options to ask questions. Like we will have 3 or 4 questions and we will wind up the session.
I'm not able to see the participant. Is it because that is not shared? I mean,
Ma'am, I shared your screen, ma'am, for a few minutes
oh,
for
okay,
question and answer.
okay.
Okay, I will call upon Bhuvanesh Kumar for asking the question now. Please unmute yourself, sir. Bhuvanesh Kumar.
Yeah, hello, this is Bonish. Actually, ma'am, my friend is suffering from kind of a critical situation. Like his son, he's like 11 years old. He he is unable to socialize among the uh, same age group.
Okay.
He always tends to have contact and being in fond of with the adult people,
Okay.
like the age of his parent. So,
Okay.
what would you suggest to make that boy to socialize with his friends of his same age group?
Okay. So thank you for the wonderful question. I should really, thank you first. Uh, Most of the parents, who is actually responsible for this? Who is responsible? Most of the time we say that the children are not moving with that, the children are not doing this, children are actually doing like this. Children tend to actually play with their peer group only. They really love to be with their peer, really wanted to relate with their age group only. And they really like people who, even an adult who's melding down to their age and play. You can see that adult who's able to talk and relate with the child at their age level, they will be very fond of and they will play very well. But it's a responsibility of the parent over here, and making them involved like an treating them like an adult, and lot of adult communication at home, not letting the child to be a child at home, and also creating making taking them towards all their friends home, and making them to involve in their conversations. All this make them to be little premature adult. So I think this is the responsibility of the parent, but it is possible for all of us to help them also. See, the child has to be intervened. Probably the child has to be taken care by one of like a relationship specialist like myself or Suresh Kumar, even a psychologist. We can talk to them. We can make them understand that how important to be regarded at their own age group, because their self-esteem is not based on the adults. It is all about their we call it myself, and validation of my friends is self-esteem, the estimation. In that case, the others estimation, their own friends, if they don't regard, if they don't connect to each other, it becomes a very very great pathetic feel inside for them, that I am not loved by my own friends and peers. So we need to really correct it at the right time. I think it is a time for all of us to rethink about it. So it is fine to be with an adult, but don't indulge so much of adult kind of communication with the children. It's not necessary for them. Let them be child. Let them grow on their own pace. Don't actually force them to be adult at the age of small. So I think you need to really look into, if it is a very serious, if he is very very uncomfortable over that, then let him look into any kind of specialist like us. And also it is possible to make him a mingle, teaching him social skills, how you can relate with your own age group, small activities, bringing them together, appreciating others in their age group, melding down to their level and talking how it is important to appreciate each other's interest, common interest, shared interest, playing with them. All these could be possible small tips for them to bring into the age group. Hope I answered you.
Thank you for the wonderful answer, ma'am. Yes, next participant, Palvi.
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you for the wonderful session. Ma'am, I would like to ask you that during this period of lock time, this usually happens that the parents, either it is mother or father, they get frustrated and they target the child, and this leads to confusion in the child that why are they throwing anger on me, like usually this happens at our home, especially in Indian societies. This happens. So how can you avoid this sort of confusion, or how can we overcome this kind of confusion in children?
You fantastically answered also the question. See, the very important thing is the parents are responsible for this, because
Hmm.
who is angry with the child, who's not at all actually involved in the picture. The parents
Hmm.
seems to have a displacement of anger. I have
Hmm.
frustration or something, an unsettlement with my spouse.